I don't know if I scrolled down yet to show you guys. There's tons of sticker options. So, yeah. All right, take it away, Cora. Shh. Hey, quit with the side chatter. Oh, we need to unpause the activity because we paused when we were going over that thing.
Well, why don't you guys start by going through the Desmos? We did that slide yesterday.
Well, we did the guess slide.
We did the guess, yes. But you guys can start by going through the Desmos and we'll regroup it.
So in slide 2, they actually give you some actual numbers. So I would not waste more than maybe 10 more seconds on slide 1. But slide 1, you're straight up guessing. Slide 2, we can actually get smart and do some math.
Oh, here they are. Ha! That's not
I think this went with your paper. Oh, you weren't stable together, so I'm not sure.
Oh.
Either way, like it's okay. It's fine.
So where are the 3B cards?
Yeah, but not right in this moment because you have something to do right now and you're not even logged into the business. Or it may be a different tab, but you're not looking at the business.
Where are the cards?
Behind that blue water bottle.
I
Look at
clicked
the
over
clip that
there.
says 3D.
The clip is clipped on the container. I already checked it.
There's more. Like there are multiple.
This one says
Find it.
3.
I put a clip on wrong.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Lucy, use this for us.
Yeah, let me switch the clip. Yeah, I was wondering why there were 2.
Alright, so like I said, keep tabs on
Yeah.
what they're doing. Right? So if you're still on slide 1, leave it. I'm about to make you. So this is where pacing is involved. So I can say I only want them to be able to work on those slides. And now if they're on slide 1, it will yank them into slide 2. So if we wanted them to stop at a certain point, we could make the pacing stop
Luca,
at
you're
that
not
slide.
slick.
Right? So we could do that if we want and say nobody can go way out here until we've talked about those slides. Right? So let's leave this pacing for now to make sure we know if somebody gets to this point because they're going to want to see that little trick thing.
Yeah.
Turn it to anonymous so that no one can see who says Caleb.
Yeah. Alexa, are you gonna do Caleb?
Uh-oh.
Is this 2 or 6?
This is the one that actually has the math. Do you want to go ahead and write down the math that you're going to need to?
Not yet.
Here, let me unpause the music.
Are you gonna? Oh, never mind. I was gonna say, aren't you gonna get flagged by YouTube? But
No, it doesn't record but if it's loud enough on the speaker,
yeah, I was
it'll
gonna
make
say
it back
we
to
hear it
here. Yeah, it's pretty good.
YouTube. I'm back.
So you could go ahead and write down your standard form numbers, right, while they're still working, just so you get a head start. All you have to do is tap the screen for that to go away. You are continuing to not do what I'm asking you to do. Well, 1.5 divided by 10 divided by 10 divided by 10. So we talked yesterday about how if we didn't have a number in front of the 10, we have to assume it's a 1, right? How if I say Jackson, we're assuming I'm talking about 1 Jackson. If I say 1 Ruth to the first power, it's just Ruth, right? But I don't need to say 1. I don't really need to say the first power. So we always assume those numbers. So the positive is going to make us multiply by 10, and that 6.1 is going to be bigger, right? The other trick we said we could do is decimal. So Cora's going to go over how this works to get the values back into standard form. And standard form is writing it without the times 10 to the left. So if a positive power, use our decimals, right? If we're multiplying by 10 and the number's getting bigger, a negative would be the so if I want to get off some graph paper, we would have jot down some like what you're doing. Hey guys, graph, I'm going to come around with graph paper. If you don't have any, you're probably going to want it.
Okay. So this is slide 2.
Seriously. You're done. You're done.
So we went over this here. And what? I have power now. No. Tell me. Yeah, go for it.
Attention with Cora's
So-
teaching. Write it down.
So yesterday, when we went over if we were going to multiply two numbers with exponents, what would we do? So if we're gonna get this is x to the power of what? Lucy?
X to the power of 5.
Yes.
If both of those values are equal to the same thing, then we're essentially adding the powers together to create a new power.
So we would add those two together. So if how would you find first? How would you find how many jelly beans would fit in a school bus? Jackson?
Since the school bus has a positive exponent or positive power, and the jelly bean has a negative power, then we need to find a balance, I believe, between the two.
Yeah.
So be careful, Cora misspoke. She meant how many jelly beans will equal the mass.
Yeah.
Right, so it's not how many will fit inside the bus.
Yeah, that's
It's how many make the equivalent mass.
Okay, Elias.
Why don't you divide bus by the bean?
Yes. So if
So why can't you just do that in the activity?
I did. I wrote that down.
if we were gonna do that first, we're gonna make this into the what are they called? The
Standard
Standard,
form.
yeah. If we're gonna make these numbers into standard form, Luca, what number would this be? What number would that be in standard form?
Hold on. 6100.
So if I was you, I would write down exactly what Cora already has written down, like the numbers with their powers, and show the division that we're doing, and show putting it back into standard form, which is always an option.
And 1.5 in standard form, 1.5 times 10 to the negative 3. What would that be in standard form, Michael?
It'd be 0.0015
Why? How?
because you are moving the decimal place up 2 to the left.
How many to the left?
Wait, 3.
Actually, 3, we only end up with 2 zeros. Yeah, don't fall in that trap door of thinking the power tells us zeros.
When it's negative, you're moving the decimal point to the left, and when it's positive, you're moving it to the right. So yeah, after that, you would just use calculator to do the division. Anybody know what that is? Lucy.
It would be roughly, I'm remembering because you paused my activity on the next slide, sorry for it. But it is, if I remember correctly, it's about 200 million?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Hold on, let me unpause. Yep, that's because we were fighting for the mouse control. All right, now you're good. I'm hands off.
Yeah, it's 200 million. Yeah.
Now, do you really want to write all those zeros?
No. Right?
200 to the 8th power.
200 to the 8th?
2.
No, 2. Yeah, that's what I meant.
No, it would be 0.2 to the 8th.
Is that science?
2 to the 7th?
No, it would just be 2 to the 7th power.
Yes, because you would. There's 8
There's
Um,
8 0.2.
It would be to the 8th because
Yeah, because there are 8 zeros.
they're well.
Wait,
there are,
no, there
there's
aren't
7.
8.
Wait.
No, there should be 8. You're
So-
right, 0.
The trap door
Sorry.
is that it's not always the amount of zeros. Sometimes it is. In the video we watched, it is. Because this only has a single significant digit. That's what it's technically called. The 2 is our significant digit that we need to write when we go to scientific notation. It's not like 2.13, 2.57. It's just 2. So then what do we need to multiply? It's not 2 to the 8th, so erase that. Be careful with this.
Yeah, that's
It's 2 times 10
So 2
to the
is
8th.
the 80th power.
Oh yeah.
No.
No.
No,
8.
not even close.
I'm doing math wrong.
We're supposed to do both.
Yeah.
Mr. Hudson?
Could we just write
You mean Miss Phillips?
Sorry. I put it in the Miss Phillips. I put it in the calculator and I got 406,666.
You got.
Are you sure you didn't
You
type
did
in?
that in the calculator? Wait. Same.
Oh, I understand now.
Oh, I mean, did you unpause the business?
Yeah.
Oh, God, he did.
Happened to me too.
Oh.
Maybe I just I have a decimal question.
Yeah?
Who gave us the 200 million answer? Like, did you calculate?
That
it?
was Lucy.
I didn't know.
And that was the
That's not. That's not correct.
I didn't. I put it into my
That's what
calculator.
Carter got.
That's what I got.
What?
You should.
Yeah.
What do you mean you put it into your calculator? Did you try to type it in scientific?
I cleared my calculator after.
I did 4 times 10 to the 6th.
I'm sorry. I just hate it when it comes up my calculator.
Well, so stop doing what you just did because we could have tracked down. Do it again. Like, do the calculation again. I gotta try to figure out how you got this wrong.
Wait, what's 10 times?
I got 4,000,000.
Yeah.
6,666.6 repeating.
I also got 200 million.
Show me how. Like, I don't know how you guys are getting a different answer than what my calculator is giving.
What'd you get?
6,100 divided by 0.001. Are we looking at 2 different slides?
No, I got this.
Wait a minute. now
Guys,
it's
we're
different.
talking about 2 different slides. Stop.
Are you calculating the jumbo?
This,
Oh,
the
yeah.
bus, we're discussing 2 different slides right now by accident.
That makes sense.
Those of you that got 200 million are on the jumbo jet slide.
Obviously.
This, sorry, I'm hijacking your lesson for a minute. This in slide 2, and this is why I normally sync up and say, here's the one we're looking at, came out to be 40. This is not a nice number because that's a lot of 6s.
Uh-oh.
Repeating forever. So, no, there's not. It's a lie. Your calculator's lying to you.
The calculator.
Well,
Hold up. I got them all synced to us. So this slide that you're looking at now, we take the bus mass divided by the jelly bean mass, right? If we do the correct math, we get about 4 million.
yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and keep at least one of those 6s. So I want to make sure we're comfortable writing this. Sorry, but I'm hijacking for a minute. 4.06. We're going to let some of the precision drop away, but we still want to keep a little bit of it. And then we say times 10 to the what needs to happen to get back to the real number. So if my decimal's here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in this slide, it should be 4.06 times 10 to the 6th. If we put our answer back into scientific. Now I think what a lot of you were looking at is the jet, which I will then sync you to me on the jet. Which let's write out that math too, since we wrote out that math incorrectly. So, are we going to take jet divided by jelly bean or jelly bean divided by jet?
Jet divided by jelly bean.
So, let's write down the jet mass. 3 times 10 to the 5th. So if you typed in that 4 million answer on the Jumbo Jet slide, that is wrong. Please write this down so we can actually have this math on our paper to like look back at. If we go back to standard form, practice trying to switch those numbers back to standard form. So you should have that written on your paper. Practice getting them back into standard. So like 3 times 10 to the 5th becomes what?
300,000.
300,000. 1.5 times 10 to the negative third. Same divisor we had last time. Make sure you're writing down the cheat. It's standard. I'm asking you to write it in standard form, then show what we get as your answer. Standard means not scientific form.
And what is 1.5 times 10 to the negative third?
0.00. Now here's a good point to say, does anyone not understand how we got these?
Anybody have any questions about that?
For the
Yeah.
previous question, should I just like
It doesn't matter if your answer's wrong, if that's what you're going to ask. But
Yeah.
as long as by the time we're done with this, it makes sense, it's okay.
It's not like there's no grade for what
Well, I
you
know.
answer on that.
You want to wait to show the trick until the one that comes out to be a really big number?
The Mercury one?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So here is where we should get our like 200 million, right? I mean, somebody double check that math, but I believe there's where we get our 200 million. So go ahead and like show how we. That is not enough screen. Okay,
I'm gonna
write out the standard somewhere, like below. You cannot fit that. Okay.
It's 2 times 10 to the 8th power. Okay, that's fine. I figured it out, and I'm very proud of myself.
Hey, wait. I think that we. Okay. Should I show my trick?
You are not synced with me anymore, but hold on. Did you skip over this one? We got to answer Bashir and Elena.
Okay.
I know we're going to run out of time, but that's okay. So how do we figure out who's right here between Bashir and Elena? We can show it here, but then show like why it's necessary. What do we like? What order are we going to divide? You can still call on people. Like,
Let's do power. Kate.
You can skip a few letters. So what was the question?
So how would we divide to figure out who's right here? Elena or
I would say first like put 3 times 10 to the 5th power on the as the numerator, and then divide that by
hold on.
the
I got an
Boston
idea. Give yourself more space. Start over there.
mass, and then divide it by like the bus's mass.
Hey, so make sure that you practice this on your own, and Cora's about to show you a trick that you don't know. Cora's about to show you a trick you don't know, which is why I'm going to pause you in a second.
And then put it in standard form.
I think Lucy would have figured it out, but
We don't need to go to standard form.
Oh, you don't?
yes.
We
So-
do, You could. We don't need to. Go ahead.
So if
I'm going to pause. And sync. And now you're awesome.
okay. So if you don't want to go to standard form, there's 2 parts to this. There is
So 3 divided by 6.1. 3 divided by 6.1, I got your answer here, is 0.492.
And then, if to figure out what this would be, anybody have any ideas how to divide the? Yeah, Lucy.
So when you divide 10 by 10 it's 1, but do you also divide the exponents?
Not quite, but that's yes, and you don't. It's still
Hold on, I'm going to show the start of that video.
10.
So, in your Schoology, not only are these laws that we're about to talk about, these exponent rules right here, and I emphasize the negative one because that normally tends to be a struggle for kids, but we got a math antics video going through exactly how to do all this sort of stuff. So if over the weekend you are struggling at all,
You know why I pulled you over today? Some law? It's right a law. This law to be exact. Laws of exponents? I've never even heard of these. How was I supposed to know? Well, you must have never heard of Math Antics. They're this really cool math video series. They have all sorts of basic math videos. And the host is really funny. Is this some sort of ad? Can I skip this?
so yes, this has been an ad for Math Antics. Use those videos as your resources. We will watch Metamorphosis next week. If you watch it on your own, that's a choice that you have to live with. It is kind of dark. But we'll watch it next week in class. So, hold up. If you went to Schoology and looked at, okay, what does that tell us to do? When we're dividing, what does it tell you to actually do with the powers? Subtract. So go ahead, Cora.
So what's 5 minus 3, class? 2. Yeah.
But, hey, we're not packing up yet. We still got like 2 minutes, and we got one more thing to do. Is that scientific notation?
No.
Actually, yes.
No,
What?
it's not.
Okay.
Wow.
Listen to Miss Phillips. Why is it not?
Sam, do you know how to make an insert science?
Oh.
Yes. It has to be in between 10 and 0.
1 and 10. You need a digit in front of the decimal. Do we have a digit? 0 doesn't count. Do we have a digit in front of the decimal?
No.
You fell in the trap. You went backwards.
Okay, so change the move the decimal over to the right one and change the 10 to the power of 2 to 10 to the power of 1.
Because 10 to the power of 2. Hey, I unpaused you, but you need to pause yourself and listen. Because 10 to the power of 2 says move to the right 2 places, and to fix our first number, we moved to the right 1 place, we need to subtract from the power that tells us to move. Let's talk about Mercury in the bus real quick. So my bus is on the plate. It's just really small compared to Mercury. Let's take the mass of Mercury, divide by the mass of the bus, and I bet you don't want to write it in standard form. Let me hop in, sorry. We're like 30 seconds, and I just know I can drive quicker up here. So, 3.3 times 10 to the 23rd, and yes, sometimes we use x for this multiplication. 6.1 times 10 to the 3rd. 3.3 divided by 6.1. Someone help me out. What is 3.3 divided by 6.1? It's going to be 0 point something. No.
0.5409. 0.5409. Yeah, it's a very long.
What would 10 to the 23rd divided by 10 to the 3rd be?
20.
10 to the 20th. However, when we fix it, what happens to this power because we went ahead and did one of the right?
It goes to 9.
Now we're going to lower by 1 exponent and say times 10 to the 19th. All of this information is in that Math Antics video if you need a refresher over the weekend. You want to say it?
Have a good weekend, everybody.
I normally just have a great day, but yeah, it's the weekend. So have a great weekend.
Say on both sides.
That doesn't really apply here, I don't think.
Are you Bluebird?
I mean, we might be able to make it apply, but I'm gonna leave that as your job.
If we
Figure out if it could apply here.
on both sides, because you do this side and this side, right?
I mean, maybe. Sure.